I'd like to begin by thanking all of you for attending this important presentation today. First and foremost, the Holocaust survivors who we recognize for their enduring spirit, their willingness to share their stories, and their commitment to educate others. I know that there are also some children and grandchildren of survivors joining us today as well, and we're going to call them forward in a moment. But of course, we're joined by Manny Mandel, who's certainly a great friend and a survivor. We've seen him many, many times. And I'd also like to thank Debbie Linick, who coordinates all of the Holocaust programming for the Jewish Community Relations Council. We are pleased to have students joining us today from the Melvin J. Berman Hebrew Academy with their teacher, Norma Johnson. With each passing year, it becomes more and more important to commemorate the atrocities of the Holocaust and to dedicate to our survivors that we will continue to educate future generations so that we will never forget. This is a proclamation from the County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland. Whereas the Holocaust was a state-sponsored systematic persecution and annihilation of European Jews by Nazi Germany and its collaborators between 1933 and 1945, and while Jews were the primary target, 6 million were murdered. Other ethnic and religious groups also were victimized, and whereas pursuant to a 1980 Act of Congress, the United Holocaust Memorial Council designates Days of Remembrance each year to recall and reflect on the horrible crimes committed during the Holocaust and to ensure that the memory and legacy of lives lost will not be forgotten. And whereas we have a responsibility to those who perished, as well as those who survived, to educate current and future generations, and to rededicate ourselves to the history of the Holocaust and its impact on the world. And whereas on Sunday, April 15, 2018, the Jewish Community Relations Council of Greater Washington will host a community-wide Holocaust commemoration, Yom Hashoah, in Temple Beth Ami, with this year's theme of hate speech and the Holocaust, which will include the living testimony of a survivor. And whereas JCRC continues to make sure the memories of victims and the lessons of the Holocaust are never forgotten through the JCRC Holocaust Survivor Speakers Bureau, as well as many other programs. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland, hereby proclaim Wednesday, April 11, 2018, as Holocaust Remembrance Day, Yom HaShoah, in Montgomery County, and be it further resolved that the residents are urged to rededicate themselves to not bear silent witness to injustice and to always remain vigilant to the principles of a just society. And it's signed today by the Council President, Hans Remer. Would you like to say a few words, and then we're going to...
Few words only mean that on behalf of all those survivors who live today and all those who are not here today, we dedicate and we say thank you to the Montgomery County Council for this very nice proclamation. This is the 4th or 5th year that we've had the proclamation up here. And it's terribly important to remember that we must remember and learn from the past, because that's the only way they can in some way guarantee the future. I thank you.
Debbie, would you like to?
We're very appreciative that the council makes this effort to do this remembrance each year. We're very appreciative that there are survivors like Manny, dozens in our community who still come out and speak to student groups, adults, civic nonprofits that we arrange, so that this year, personally, over 2,000 students and adults will be hearing from survivors through speakers programs that we're arranging in the community, and that culminates in the commemoration that you mentioned on April 15th. And hopefully each year in that commemoration we seek to look at a specific aspect of the Holocaust, such as hate speech, and understand what that means to us today in the actions that we take in our time in our communities.
I'd like to ask the children and grandchildren of the survivors to please come forward. That's Sonia Beckman, Dina Hirsch, Lisa Mandel-Trupp, and Zachary Trupp to please join us. What? And then also the students of the Melvin J. Berman Hebrew Academy with their teacher, Norma Johnson, and that's Avital Fink, Leora Kelsey, Mishalom Unger, Israel Avadia, Natani Shields, and Alania Elikan.